namaskara to everybody who has come here in Mysuru to the Global Bharat Movement Business Innovation Roadshows Mysuru edition. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Krishna Kumar. The Global Bharat Movement presented by SAP India in association with TV9 Network. And the Business Innovation Roadshows have been across the south of India already. We began in Bengaluru, then we went to Vishakhapatnam, then there was Hyderabad, then there was Coimbatore, before that there was Kochi, and now we've reached Mysuru. You see what's happening in the global markets, the global supply crunch, the credit crunch, the way the IT sector has been reeling across the world, with all the job slashes. Let's not talk about that because that's the kind of environment we're operating in, so to speak, just to get the context of it all right. But having said that, so if there are new challenges, Global Bharat movement had to be taken up a notch further to meet those challenges that we are faced with today in the post-pandemic world. And there was the need for the Global Bharat Movement 2.0. Global Bharat Movement 2.0 is essentially premised upon three tenets, three pillars, so to speak. Pillar number one is the most important thing that we all have to bear in mind. Me as somebody from the media, you as a company, in any sector that you operate in. And the fact is that India is the most resilient economy in the world. The second thing is, through the pandemic, through our Global Bharat movement, so many companies have transformed their businesses, scaled up their businesses, changed their lives with their digital transformation journeys. And it's very important that others also know the success and all the bounty, if I may, that digital transformation brings to a mid-market company. The message is important, but what's more important than the message is the messengers, or messengers, if I may. So the messengers in this case are the industry experts, our thought leaders, are people who have done the length and breadth of their own space. It's there. They have to send this message that we're talking about, that India is the most resilient economy in the world and digital transformation is an absolute imperative. And it's all a question of how well you do that digital transformation with respect to your own business. How well, how fast and how efficiently you do it for your own self, and how well you understand your own business and the needs of it. So these three are essentially the tenets of Global Bharat Movement 2.0, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what we're here for the Mysuru edition that is being presented by IT Champs, ladies and gentlemen. Big round of applause for IT Champs, for our local partner. To give an even more specific context for you as mid-market companies, we have Mr. Vinod Palakil, Regional Director, SAP India, ladies and gentlemen, joining us for future state of mid-market and India's economic leadership.
A warm welcome to each of you to this Global Bharat movement. How all of us have come out of this global shock and come out extremely self-reliant, right? Couple of facts that we feel why we did that is because of certain things what Government of India took. One, in terms of building a strong digital infrastructure that enabled businesses to continue doing their business in a digital format, right? Two, of course, the most successful vaccination program in the world. How did we do that? Again, using technology with the Aadhaar framework that the government built. And of course, other factors like investments that the government did in capital expenditures for infrastructure development or schemes like PLI. So all these things actually helped businesses to actually revive, and all of you sitting in this room deserve a lot of applause, please, right? In terms of how each of you contributed in bringing this country up in terms of resilience, showing that resilience and building our economy. Global Bharat Movement is SAP's ode to all the Indian businesses who actually not only withstood the shock, but were able to come out extremely successful. At a point of time, businesses always used to realize that of course, we need to innovate. It's a good thing to innovate, right? But now, business innovation is a key to survival. It's not a feel-good factor or saying that, okay, we will do it. No. Businesses have to innovate for the survival. Couple of facts. Since the year 2000, which is 2 decades, 52% of the Fortune 500 companies no longer exist. They're out of business. Absolutely. No innovation, no change. Business as usual is no more usual. Right? Businesses has to change. There's so much of change, sir, you were mentioning during our conversation outside, right? The world is changing faster than what me and you could actually envisage. And businesses need to keep up to this particular change. If you see the second fact, from 1955 to 2011, any company took about an average of 20 years to reach $1 billion evaluation. Right? Today, startups, which is digital natives, are able to reach the 1 billion valuation in just 4 years. How? By digitally enabling their business. They are wiping out the boundaries of their operation. They're able to reach out to their customers much more quickly. They're able to create personalized products and services. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, business innovation is no longer a good to have, need to change. And we from SAP see that change day in and day out. And how are we as a company going to do that? Is something that I will talk to you once we move ahead. Of course, over the last couple of decades, you would have heard a lot of technocrats talking about how important data is the new oil, etc., etc., etc. Right? Is that in fashion now? Well, it is in action now. Right? Today, organizations cannot wait for an Excel sheet, cannot wait for the subordinates to send email for a day to look at the status of what the company is doing. If you talk to any entrepreneur, if you talk to any chairman or the owner of the company, they need information on the fly. By the click of the button, they would need real-time access to information in terms of how the company is performing. And not only that, they need information in terms of predictive, in terms of saying, if the company performs in this particular way, where will my company reach in the next 6 months? Is that meeting my organizational goal and vision? Right? That's the power of data. And that data is reality today. The sooner the organizations adopt data to make critical decisions, that's where the growth lies. That's where the interventions can be taken at the right time. So these are the strategic priorities that we as a technology company see, and these are the underlying foundations in which our products are designed. Our products are made intelligent, what we call as intelligent enterprise. When we spoke to a lot of mid-market customers over the last 2-3 years, they bucketed their issues in, say 5 pillars. One, they said they lack the ability to be very agile and to adapt to the newer norms, right? That's one of the challenges that they have. Second, while we are talking about connecting business networks to enterprises, today's mid-market has problems within the enterprise. There's a lot of disconnected processes. Things are not connected, right? Things are not seamlessly integrated. And of course, like I spoke about the business owners, they lack the transparency in terms of knowing their company's performance in real time. And lastly, clients are demanding new business models, right? If we are not giving the new business model, there is a competitor next door who's already doing it, right? So there is options today available for the customers. And lastly, the bigger challenge that any organization has, a smaller organization has, is they have outgrown their systems, right? The present systems that they use will not help them to grow and meet the vision that the organization has. Grow with SAP comes with industry best practices, right? If there's one company on the face of this earth, right, which has worked with 25 different industries for 50 years and for 25 years in India, can you guess which company it is? Thank you. So there's one company which is here to support you, to grow your needs and ensure that we grow together, right? Gone are those days where SAP was seen as a white elephant, right? I have seen that journey from the past 10 to 11 years in terms of how we as a company have also transformed, right? Not only have we transformed our products, we transformed the way we connect with customers. We transform the way we engage with customers. We transform our partners in terms of taking these products and services to the customers. So get started now. This is the first time that SAP has launched such a product and we're giving it free trial. There's a 14-day free trial. Please go ahead and register, download, The system comes with pre-built scenarios, comes with pre-built content, and it has a comprehensive scope, right? Go ahead and use this. And with this, I'd like to welcome all of you again to this wonderful event. Thank you.
It's time now to move on to our keynote address for this morning. And to deliver the keynote address, it's time for our Mysuru edition partner, IT Champs, to take the stage. I'm going to request Mr. Rajesh Kutikar, CEO IT Champs, to please deliver the keynote address. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause, Mr. Rajesh.
What we can do, what is in our hands, is to transform our businesses to keep up with the changing digital transformation of the rest of the world. And to stay ahead of the curve, we have to also think ahead in various perspectives, not just from bringing in good systems, for bringing in transparency, improving productivity, and then also improving our customers' satisfaction, customer delight. All these things are byproducts of adopting any platform. So it's not about just having technology at your disposal. It is about choosing the right platform and choose which is scalable, and it is also about choosing the right partner to deliver this solution. Especially in tier 2 cities like ours, we have been in business for 18 plus years now, and very proudly based out of Mysore. We have, of course, offices in Mumbai and Bangalore, but we started, our roots are in Mysore, and I'm very happy that I started in Mysore, and the kind of connects, the information exchange, the development that we are seeing in the last few years in Mysore is, I think, unparalleled. If you are following same systems, same processes for decades together, how do you expect people down below to understand that so much change is happening and our company is also ready to adopt this change? So we have that has to percolate down various levels in the organization, and everybody should be part of it. Me alone as a business leader can't take my organization ahead, right? Otherwise, we would have had just one family running the whole business. It doesn't happen. Every single workman, every single manager, every single officer, every single board member, everybody has to align in the same direction, has to contribute to take the organization to the next level. Once your basic processes are digitalized on a world-class platform, then you are free to next think about adopting automation technologies like IoT automation, or implement technologies where less and less of failure points are there. More all the menial jobs or everything that can be done without manual intervention should be automated, so that the people can be freed up to do more strategic work or think of improving processes within the organization. So if you have your vendor portal, customer portal, so it makes it easier for your customers to interact with your organization in a self-service mode. They don't need to pick up the phone, call up and ask what happened to my order, or where is my consignment, has it been shipped. We can just give them access and say, please log into this portal, and after authentication, you can find all the data on your fingertips. So we are also education partners, and then we work a lot with organizations, so educational institutions. We have done programs at several MBA colleges. We are also working with VTU. I am fortunate to be part of the board of studies in VTU, and recently we had a series of meetings in Bangalore and Belgaum for drafting the syllabus for the upcoming semesters, where we have every engineering degree, there will be a minor and a major specialization, like Western institutions. And then there is also an honors degree that will be awarded to students who specialize in certain areas. So we have BE Computer Science with honors degree in ERP, in SAP. Coming to education, we do training not only for aspiring candidates who want to build their career in IT consulting in SAP, but we also do a lot of corporate trainings, and then we also do college and university alliance. SAP has great programs which are introduced now. SAP is again working with lot of large universities to introduce the training and certification programs right from the academic years, so that when they come out, they are more industry ready. We've all been talking for a long time about the gap in industry academia, but very little work is being done in this area. I'm very happy and proud again to say, under leadership of Mr. Sam Cherian as chairman of CII Mysore, he's given special importance to two areas. One is sustainability, sustainable growth in across all the organizations in Mysore, and then also on the industry academia collaboration. So taking more and more finishing school kind of things, and taking more of enablement of students, so that when they come out, they are immediately productive for the employers. Request all of you to think about these things and then adopt change as early as possible. Be ahead of the curve and be ahead of your competition, and provide better experience to your customers, and help us help you. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Rajesh Kotikar. It's time now for the most important session for the day. And to do the honors, I'm going to invite a very special gentleman upon stage. He's a practicing chartered accountant and also holds a CPA degree from Australia. He's currently the chairman of the Mysore branch of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Ladies and gentlemen, please put together hands together for Mr. C.A. Raghunandan Rao.
Today we have the pleasure of having two great gentlemen from Mysore to be on the stage for a panel discussion on the subject leading the change with technology. Please put your hands together for Mr. Sam Cherian and C.A. Sabarishan. I would start this discussion by asking Mr. Sam Cherian a very simple question, sir. In all these years, these 35 years, you have actually evolved. You have actually become a automated facility from what you used to be a one computer, one printer facility with manual processes with multiple labor to a digital, to a digitized, to a completely automated kind of a facility today. Can you please sort of tell us how your journey was and the challenges you faced during this time?
I started this with a vision. I never started this business to make money. I had a plan to build up an industry. It should be world class. That was my intention. Kept that in mind and set situations to grow to a level where nobody can compete with me. In fact, I had the funding from KSFC. When the direct MD came personally to visit the factory before it was completed, because my building is completely a granite building. He said, "You have wasted a lot of money on this building." Then the KIDB said, "You have taken 2 acres of land, you have wasted." Everything was a waste for those days. But today, I have no place. I could grow the business to a level where what I envisaged 37 years back. And I had a vision, I had the determination, and I had the perseverance to achieve what I have planned to do that, and I stood by that. I never compromised on my plans, in spite of all the adverse situations. Doing a business in a country like India at that time, where especially products were not required, cleaning was not required. When K.R. Narayanan came to lay the foundation stone of my factory, his first statement was, India needs cleaning, Indians need cleaning training. And that, don't take that as an offense to anybody, it's partially still continues. Only the elite, maybe around 10% of the Indian population is still using the branded products. I don't say that you should only use branded products, but at least you people are using only 10% of the total population, which doesn't create load on the environment. And the sustainability theme was in my mind, or the idea was in my mind 35 years back. That is why I started this industry with a
Sabarishan sir, what is your view on the sufficiency of technology adoption by SMEs today?
See, technology adoption has several dimensions of benefits, be it business process reengineering. I always believe that if things are so bad, they can't get any worse. And secondly, when you make an improvement, it will have a profound impact on the organization. Some of the SMEs are adopting technology, may not be necessarily SAP, now that SAP is downsized. And there are right flavors available for small businesses. Even I'm told retail shops can also use and connect. On business processes, on manufacturing processes, they are in the process of adopting technology, though there is a long way to go. For example, the other day I met somebody in Mysore who is actually implementing AI ML for SMEs. How to automate, how to get real-time information so that the managers or the founders can spend their time not on generating information but acting on information, because it becomes a real-time decision support system. Change keeps happening. Now the GST coming in, so many taxes have been subsumed in the GST that made technology simpler, but perception is not so. People still think differently.
I'd like to ask Mr. Cherian a question. Do you feel that once the technology is adopted, finding the right kind of skill to use the technology is scarce in a place like Mysore?
I would rather like to go to a person who has implemented the technologies to the best of its level. And I will take them, I will understand how they have done it and find out if they have done it successfully. I would go to them for advice than to anybody else. I will not go to any service provider. If you have implemented a technology which is that I'm looking forward to, I would come to you and ask, can I do it? If I'm convinced, I'll go by that. Number one. The challenge in Mysore, yes, not only for me, anybody getting the right kind of, I don't say human resources, I would say human assets. It's fairly a difficult situation because the right kind of resources, the qualified people, they thought, Bangalore is a better place or elsewhere is that they can get better. But I think some effort is required to have the people to be brought back to Mysore for all of us to survive. But there is a resource crunch in the city of Mysore, which is definitely disturbing all of us. And as CI, we are also looking at that. That's the reason we are trying to have the industry institute interaction increasing at a rapid level to make industry prepared or ready candidates.
When an organization wants to implement a technology, an ERP solution, accounting, supply chain kind of solution, I feel that the first go-to person would be their auditors, would be their chartered accountants. And I'm sure you also would have experienced this in your engagements. So how do you handle this kind of a situation?
We had Deloitte as the auditor at that time. But even before we could go to them, we had our own internal challenges. That typical scene would be there is a commitment to a customer which has not been honored. So we have a daily operations review, which is supposed to last half an hour. And before the sales and marketing guy joins the meeting, there's a lot of hustle bustle, the preparations going on how to defend ourselves. Okay, so he comes puffing and panting because customer has chewed his head off. So he comes and says, if you can't deliver, why are you promising? So each one will prepare their story. The painting was done, it didn't dry. I had booked out there, this come. No information was reliable because these are all manually prepared and they were all believing that they were power centers, they have to just defend themselves with whatever information they go. So it was going round in circles. So instead of half an hour, The meeting will go on for half a day, and it will only stop because canteen will close. And those days there was no eating house. I think Raju may know. There was no eating place worthy of going in Hutagalli. I'm talking about 94, 95. We said we are wasting a lot of time and energy and a lot of heat. We are creating a lot of heat than light. So we said, what do? We had islands of software, DBase4, which is extinct, which was running financial accounting. We had COBOL running payroll, then Excel for all MIS report manually prepared. Shop was running manually. Can you imagine? At that time, our monthly sale was around 3 crores or thereabout. So we said, what do? We went around, but luckily for us, Rockwell was the partner. Their automotive division had already zeroed in on MFG Pro because Ford, GM, Chrysler, they had used, and we looked at ease of implementation, and Gartner rating, it ranked very high. But the challenge was the mindset of the people. So I was made the project manager for 2 reasons. Not that I knew anything about ERP, but I was a heavyweight those days. So I could take a whip and we are financially not doing very well. Of course, we restructured and all that. So this challenge happened. So we started doing, first 3 months we spent only on creating an item master, verifying, correcting, because we wanted 100% accuracy. Otherwise, garbage in, garbage out. And then we started implementing module by module. The challenges were, one was we had engineering part numbers that were formatted. It had special characteristics, it has space, it has so many other things. People would go crazy. And we also had production people to key in data because they knew the part numbers, they knew the parts very well. People were afraid that they'll become irrelevant. That was not the case. In fact, they did their job even better after. Because real-time information was there. Nobody depended on anybody for any information.
Any advice from both of you to the gentleman here from representing various organizations on how to manage business turbulence, have sustainable growth and technology adoption?
Yeah, my simple point and advice to you is that digitize, automate at the earliest. Don't look at the cost. You will get the payback in no time. Don't look at what is my tangible asset. No, it's not an asset. Consider that as a part of your working capital. I tell you, you will be the most happiest person to run your business and you will gain on that. That's my piece of.
Fortunately, we have less turbulence in India than compared to the West. Just imagine if you're in the US today or Europe today, the kind of turbulence that is happening here. But having said that, we can't be devoid of any turbulence. Now, one way of overcoming is once you automate your processes, using these kind of tools, your mind can be applied in forecasting, proper forecasting, anticipating or managing risks, for example. In fact, there is one interesting video you may want to watch on Fox television of Warren Buffett's interview. This is a 2006 Davos interview. He says the role of a CEO. He is the chief risk manager. Risk management is about envisioning the future. And you can't see risk. It is not visible to you. You have to visualize. So you need all your acumen, your experience to visualize going forward and see how we can anticipate and get some solutions ahead of the market. Now, so many things have happened today. You have Procto, Ola, your Big Basket. They have thought ahead of it. They created a need. So that is how you should go. You create a turbulence rather than waiting for turbulence to hit you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks to both of you for a very thought-provoking, enlightening discussion.
I'm going to invite Rajesh Nayak, pre-sales lead, customer advisory, SAP India, to talk about public cloud, a gateway for mid-sized companies to start their digital journeys.
What we are providing today is something called as Grow with SAP. As we know, also told that we are going to launch it APJ wide today at around 12 o'clock. So please have a look at it. Please have a look at all the media reports on these as well. Grow with SAP is our ode to the MSMEs out in India, right? So we basically have these 4 pillars, right? We've been in this entire industry for the last 50 years, and especially in India for the last 25 years. So what we've brought with us is the industry expertise, is the industry best practice in 25 different industries, right? And what we are giving is basically a direct configure to run ERP, true software as a service, right? So here what you could do is you can just go with the industry best practices, have a study of your own business processes, look at SAP's business practices, the best practices, and then try to fit all of your business process to these standard practices. So that way what you would get is basically a ready to run end-to-end integration between all of your processes, and you would basically get a base to get further automation into your business, to introduce more automation into your business. Another problem of getting onto the cloud, a lot of customers like you have this this thing about security. We are going to put our entire information on the cloud. Is it secure enough? So I would be happy to tell you that it is really secure enough, because this is your customer data, right? And over and above, we have multiple layers of logical and physical security, right? So with this, what you're getting is a security architecture of defense in depth, and we also comply to the latest audit and compliance standards, right? So we have definitely our standard secure development lifecycle management of our products, and over and above that, since we are going to provide you the hosting as well, so we do all, we basically have this defense in depth architecture, which makes you rest assured that your information is very secure with us. Now let's say you want to still understand more as to how does this process run in a cloud ERP. So what we have, again, over and above this, are these offline demos. So you can just go to these offline demos, you can just click on them, and you can basically simulate, right? You can basically simulate an offline demo when you can enter the data into the various fields, and you can run the entire process so that you actually understand that particular process better. So what we are trying to do out here is that we are trying to show what the process entails, right? And then this is what you're going to get in your end ERP. When you have actually implemented your ERP, this is the process that you're going to get as a part of a package. What we basically provide you is are two types of development platforms, right? One is the low code, no code, where we have the new terminology of citizen developers. These are basically business users, right, who want to probably need a small field in a certain window, right? We have these transaction screens, we need a small field out there, or you need a new pricing condition, right? So all of that can be done in a low or no code platform, wherein you can just go add that field and save it and basically roll it out to all of your business users. But let's say you need certain logic to be included into that, right? So we need to write certain programs. So what we provide as a part of our public cloud is a programming line as well, right? We provide you a programming line which makes sure that you adhere to the principles of clean core, right? So basically what we give you is a layer above the public cloud wherein you can do all your developments, right? And you need to, that particular core that you have, right, the table structure of the core, it remains clean. So you do not have any problems when we basically upgrade your landscape, right? What BTP means, or what business technology platform means, it's basically a set of services, right? A set of services which allows you to probably, let's say, build a portal. Again, we have a low code, no code platform out there, as well as a pro code platform out there, where you can basically do full blown development, right? And no code platform where you can basically build, let's say, a UI and do some small amount of workflows and all of that. So we basically we basically give you all of these as a part of our SAP BTP, or business technology platform, where you can build all of these innovations, and you can also go for certain other things like, if you want to, let's say, do a top-down planning, a sales and operations planning of your organization. We have certain certain tools which allow you to do that. We also have certain tools as a part of SAP BTP which helps you integrate with different systems. Let's say you have a CRM system or you have an order management system which you want to integrate with your ERP. So we provide you integration capabilities as well as a part of our SAP BTP. So that way, you'll be able to bring all of those disparate systems together as well as help you innovate by creating newer products. We basically are providing end-to-end business process coverage. The only thing that you need to do is basically partner with us, start with the journey from the cloud ERP, and then build it out or to a larger set of solutions which is provided by SAP with native integration with each other, right? We also have 51 local versions, as Vinod also told, like, if in case, let's say you want to foray into newer geographies, right? But you want to use the same ERP. Our ERP is localized currently to 51 countries, and more localizations are being added every 6 months, right? So definitely we have a lot of coverage geographically as well. And we also have 32 languages. And as I also told in the earlier slide, you can go for multiple solutions from SAP, which will cover your end-to-end business process. So basically, you would be able to grow without limits. So we had a typical timeline of around 4 weeks. We had customers who have adopted a cloud ERP within 4 weeks, and we have partners running together, competing with each other to bring the timeline even even down, right? So that's the kind of speed that we are talking about with SAP. Gone are those days when it used to be a pipe dream for a larger organization to go for SAP. It used to take 1 year, 6 months or something of that sort, but now it's reduced to not months but weeks. And again, with cloud, everything gets democratized. So with that, I'd like to thank you. Thanks a lot for coming today.
Thank you, Rajesh, for that. For the final session of this morning, let me, on SAP Cloud ALM, let me please invite Mr. Ajay HS, Regional Go-to-Market Lead ALM.
Cloud ALM has been here since 3 years now, and it is one of the fastest growing cloud product in SAP. We have heard a lot about these innovations and keeping in pace and faster going live and stuff like that. So to help that, at the center of the slide we have ALM. So where I mentioned about Solution Manager Cloud ALM. On your left we have Signavio, which is also natively integrated with Cloud ALM, which helps you in your business process modeling, your process mining, your collaboration platform, where you design your to-be solution. Once you have your to-be solution, the best practices that Rajesh was mentioning, you will then move on to implement it, where you design, build, test, deploy, and as well to keep your business running, we have operations as well. So we support both operations and as well as implementations using Cloud ALM. And then finally, you also have to test, right? So for that, we have integration with Tricenter's test automation, which is also the market leader in terms of test automation. What I'm trying to provide the key information in this slide is that it's one methodology, one process modeling, meaning you do not have to jump between different tools across SAP. You can do your business process modeling, you can do your implementation, you can do your operations, and then you can do your test automation as well. SAP Cloud ALM offers capabilities at each of these phases. A typical ALM phase, it offers capabilities around design, build, test, and deploy, where you can use these capabilities, accelerate your implementation. Yeah? So that's point one. And safeguard your business continuity, meaning from an operational standpoint, you want to know how your business is running, which business critical processes are down at any point in time. You want to know real-time information on that. That is capable using SAP Cloud ALM operations. You also want to know if there are any integrations. In the cloud world, it is all about integration between different cloud applications, your on-prem applications. Cloud ALM supports both your cloud and on-prem applications, so it supports hybrid environment. SAP completely takes care of the infrastructure here. SAP Cloud ALM runs on SAP public cloud, and then there is no infrastructure cost, and there is no upgrade cost. SAP Cloud ALM has a daily deployment with bi-weekly feature release. Every alternate week or every 15 days, the new features are deployed into 3,000 plus tenants I was speaking about automatically. You just have to consume those functionalities. We have design, build, test, and deploy. In your design phase, you design your to-be solution, where you run your fit to standard workshop. Rajesh was mentioning about using best practice process models. As of today, we support all deployments of S4HANA, meaning you have best practice process model diagrams within SAP Cloud ALM. You just have to start using it. We support all flavors of S4HANA. We support Ariba. We support SuccessFactors. We also support Fieldglass. We're adding more and more solutions, SAP solutions, into Cloud ALM by integrating with our Activate methodology roadmap, where you know at the start of the project what are the activities that the members of the project needs to do. You can onboard members even from your partners, as simple as adding email IDs into SAP Cloud ALM. So it's as simple as that. There is no NDA and stuff like that where you have to go through manual process of signing, all of that. It is as simple as adding email IDs into SAP Cloud ALM, and they're already onboarded into your project. And then coming to your build phase, once you get done with your fit to standard workshop, you obviously would, close to 80% of your business would be fit to standard. There would be obviously some bit of customizing that you need to do, which are captured in the form of requirements. Then these requirements will be output from a build design phase, becomes as an input to your build phase, where you start working on these requirements in your build phase. Once you're done with your requirements in the form of tasks, you move into testing, right? Which is also supported within Cloud ALM. Cloud ALM as of today supports both manual and automated testing. We already have integrated with S4HANA test automation tools. We provide best practice test automated scripts for S4HANA public cloud only, which you can use it to run your regression cycles, just by clicking a button of execution, right? So the best practice test scripts for standard process are already available for S4HANA public cloud within Cloud ALM. I mentioned about traceability. So today's world, you also need to have how you can track your requirement to deploy, right? So we provide a lot of pre-delivered traceability reports, analytical reports, which helps you in terms of understanding how your requirement is actually getting into a production through various test cases, through various features or transports requests, and so on and so forth. We provide support for business process monitoring. We provide support for integration monitoring. We have job monitoring. We have health monitoring in case you want to understand how your health of the project is. You want to understand if there are any performance issues from a real user perspective, right? So you quite often might have heard that a user is the user calls up and says, the performance of a system is quite slow. Then you start asking him questions as which application you are trying to assess, who is the user, and so on and so forth. All that can be done right within Cloud ALM without actually doing all these calls, right? You can get to the minute request detail as what time, what application, which transaction was accessed. You can actually find the root cause of the issue and then finally trigger alerts and notifications and then probably trigger operational force to sort out these issues. This is my internal demo system, right? So you, based on, again, the authorizations that you have, some of these styles are controlled. So you have both implementation and operations here because I'm an admin to this system. So you see both implementation and operations. And we also have a lot of information here in terms of accessing support portal, help portal, and so on. Now these tiles that you see has capabilities behind it. From an implementation, again, the first activity you would do is set up a project, right? So again, in the interest of time, I have opened few of these screens here. So the important part that you would do here in creation of the project, let's say, for example, you're doing a small maintenance cycle or a small maintenance upgrade of the current application, right? So you have to create a project, and then you have to link your Activate methodology roadmap. This is where the roadmap content is brought into your Cloud ALM, where you already know that this particular person who is onboarded into the project needs to do some kind of activities, right? So you have a lot of Activate templates here for all deployments of S4HANA, SuccessFactors, Ariba, and so on. So you can take a look at these, right? And then you have some more capabilities in terms of time boxing your project and so on and so forth. Now, the most important part is your process modeling, right? We have heard about best practice process model diagrams. We have heard about DDA exercise, where he mentioned about you can also upload those DDA exercise, assessment exercises right into your Cloud ALM, right? So that support is possible. Now, this is your process model diagram, which is coming from your best practice process library based on the solution that you have selected, right? So you can use these diagrams to run your fit to standard workshop. Right out of these fit to standard workshop, right out of these contexts, let's say there is some customizing that you do in your existing customer business environment. You can create requirements right from here, right? So you can create requirements, you can create nodes. Then these requirement becomes a living entity in your build phase, where you work upon this requirement, complete this requirement, and then go into test phase, and then into your deployment. We support business process monitoring. We support real user monitoring, integration monitoring, synthetic user monitoring, and so on and so forth, right? So we also have a public demo tenant, which is again available in the Cloud ALM landing page, which you can access through support.sap.com. Without even requesting for your own tenant, you can get to the demo tenant, play around with it, understand its capability, and then get into your actual production Cloud ALM tenant. There is also real user monitoring in terms of understanding if there are any performance issues that the real user experience as and when he's accessing his managed system, like an S4HANA system, like an Ariba system, and all of that, right? So I can monitor a lot of things right out of here from an SAP operations standpoint. So with that, thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Ajay, for that. And with that, we have reached the end of the Mysuru edition of Global Bharat Movement Business Innovation Roadshows presented by SAP India in association with TV9 Network. I'm going to thank our local partner, IT Champs. Again, ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for IT Champs for making this happen. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Krishna Kumar signing off. Thank you.